What happened to Judas? According to Matthew 27, Judas died by hanging. However, Luke records in Acts that he fell headlong and burst asunder, causing his bowels to gush out. So how should this be addressed? Skeptics, we believe, are rushing to judgment. Let us attempt to reconcile the contradictions in this video. The contradiction regarding Judas' death can be easily resolved by noting that Matthew is telling us how Judas died, and Luke is telling us about Judas' body after he died. According to Matthew, Judas went out and hanged himself. However, this occurred on Friday, just before the Sabbath, when no one would have bothered to cut him down. Touching dead bodies was also frowned upon by Jews, so no one would have wanted to be near a hanging body, especially a traitor's body. When decaying bodies are left alone, internal bacteria begin to break down tissues, causing gases to swell. Pressure builds up in the body, causing it to burst open, which is most likely what happened to Judas' body. If his body was left to decompose for days before someone finally cut the rope or snapped the branch, the force of hitting the ground could have caused the body to burst open. According to one medical textbook, between 3 and 7 days, the ever-increasing pressure of the putrefying gases associated with colic may lead to softening of the abdominal periods, resulting in bursting open of the abdomen and thorax. There is also some early evidence, according to John Paul Hill. Instead of falling headlong, the original reading may have swollen. The phrases are similar in Greek, so it could have been a typo. So the accounts can be shown to cohere nicely, and it corresponds to modern medical descriptions of a decomposing body. Matthew records how Judas died, while Luke records what happened to his body after he died. Another theory is that Matthew is not taking things literally. However, it is describing Judas' death in terms of the traitor a hit fell, as found in 2 Samuel 17. According to Audrey Conrad, Matthew's use of the words for departed hanged himself occur in 2 Samuel 17:23, and John's Gospel also compares Judas to Ahithophel. So Matthew is essentially telling us that Judas went out and became another Ahithophel, hanging himself, which is the terminology for dying a traitor's death. We'd be like today if I said someone bit the dust. It's a cultural expression for someone who died, not in the sense that someone died. Matthew may be doing something similar with the phrase went out and hanged himself. It's possible that the culture of the time understood this to mean that he died the death of a traitor like Ahithophel. According to Craig Keener, the hanging could be called the story of Ahithophel's end, following his betrayal of David, which fits with some other David Jesus parallels in the pre-Matthean Passion tradition. Judas presumably died without atonement, and the story emphasizes that he received his just punishment. Either of these options is acceptable. Even if Matthew is being literal, while also alluding to Ahithophel, the accounts still fit together nicely. The next issue is that Matthew says the priest bought a field, but Luke says Judas bought it. As a result, some skeptics believe there is a contradiction and who purchased the field. However, this is not the case. Here, Matthew and Luke use two different Greek words. Matthew uses a term that refers to conducting a business transaction, whereas Luke uses a term that can, but does not have to, refer to purchasing. In other words, Matthew notes that the priest purchased the field, but Luke says it belonged to Judas. As a result, the priest would have given it the name Judas. This is demonstrated in Matthew, where the priest refused to return the money to the treasury because it was obtained by betraying innocent blood. Ancient societies, particularly Jewish societies, had ritual purity laws prohibiting accepting money used for immoral purposes. So it stands to reason that when the priests purchased the field, they did so in Judas' name, and thus Judas acquired the field of blood. This avoids a paper transaction, demonstrating that the priests purchased something with blood money, thereby avoiding a ritual purity issue that the public can see. Of course, Luke would report what a later writer would have seen from the records, whereas Matthew writes as an eyewitness, with first-hand knowledge of how the field was purchased. So in reality, the accounts cohere nicely, implying that a contradiction can be resolved. What do you think about these contradictions? Share it in the comments. Please like if you found this video informative. Subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this. We'll catch up in the next one.